Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. I hope that you can hear me. It's telling me I'm not the host, but I am recording. So, good evening. I'm Pamela Tate Roger, and I am a gold consultant coming from the San Francisco Bay Area. I am excited to have you here tonight. We are going to do a training this evening called Suggestions for Travel Agents in These Stressful Times. We have been kind of talking about different things and different ways that we can kind of begin to make things a little bit easier for us in these times with calling clients back and dealing with what seems like on demand customer service with everything that's currently going on. And I'm excited to have you all here with me tonight. Let's see, we're going to go on and get started. This is a brief training, but I did want to address it and take any questions and listen to feedback and suggestions of anything that people are doing for themselves to just make things a little easier. So, one, we're going to address email notifications. The first thing I'd recommend is turning off your email notifications. If you have a steady flow of pings in your cell phone, that constant reminder that clients are calling you and clients are kind of stressed out about everything that's going on with trying to rebook trips or cancel trips. This will help eliminate some of the anxiety every time that you receive an email if you're not constantly hearing the pings. So you'll want to actually log in. You'll have to log in to actually check your emails from now on. And I think it's important that you do that. Sometimes we just need to step away from things to have a clearer perspective. We're in week number 3 now, but now that people are going on lockdowns and we've extended the travel shut-offs until about May for cruises, it's just important that we take a breath, that we try and eliminate our own anxiety, that we're thinking about what we say to people prior to saying it, and not get put on the spot to answer people immediately until we have better facts. And so, one thing you should do, as I say, is turn off your email notifications and try to view your emails when you're not overloaded and in a good frame of mind. Like I say, pull back. Have a time that you've assigned to actually go and look at your emails so that you can just kind of go back to them and go, okay, I'm going to address emails right now. Um, let's see. Number 2, we're going to say don't check your email if it's after your normally scheduled business hours. Again, this period of time kind of feels very on demand. I got a phone call at 11 o'clock at night the other night, and somebody was absolutely frantic. And while I get she works a swing shift and she had just got off, those are not my business hours. And I had to remind myself that I don't need to address this until I return to my office the following day. If someone's not currently traveling, I don't have to respond on demand um, because that will be there in the morning. So we just want to be kind with ourselves and also just kind of be aware that we don't have to do everything in that moment, in that second, as a response to clients. Sometimes when we're tired or when we've had a full day of responding to stressful situations or stressful emails or phone calls, we aren't as fresh and our answers aren't as polite or well thought out. And so do make sure that you're not checking your emails after your normal business hours. Respect your time and respect yourself and have those boundaries around when you will respond. Again, if you have clients that are not traveling right now, then it's okay for you to respond to them, when you wake up or the next morning. Number 3, I had to do this one. Create an auto reply script with like your standard responses to normal questions like, can you add travel insurance to my previously booked package? When we are doing bookings, we know to tell people that that needs to be done usually within 14 days of your booking time. And if it's done after that, your pre existing conditions are generally not going to be covered. Also, how do I reschedule my trip, which is a very popular question right now. I tell people, let me get back to you. I need to check directly with their vendor or vendors that they've used to come up with the best case scenario and answers for them. And I tell them I'll get back to them within 48 hours, particularly if it's more than one vendor.
Using this
A
quarantine,
lot of the calls
benefits will provide
are,
never
someone
end.
please mute their line. A lot of the calls are currently backlogged when you call vendors, and it can take up to 2 hours for them, 2.5 hours for some, to answer the phone. And so it's just important that you, same thing as when you took your booking, tell them that you'll get back to them within 48 hours. It's not a popular answer, but also explain, we have multiple people around the world who are trying to travel right now, and we have to be a little more patient, and let them know that the vendors are providing great accommodations for rescheduling at this time, but you need to check directly with that specific vendor so that you can get the best answer for them. And so we want to make sure that we're doing that as well, because that's important. Next, we're going to talk about typing out drafts in your responses to your clients, and you schedule a time to send it during normal business hours. So if you're typing up something and you have a response to someone, you want to make sure you're doing all responses to your clients in writing. Don't talk to them about something because they'll say, you said, and it's not correct. If someone needs to change or reschedule their trip, if someone decides they want to cancel their trip, you want to do a synopsis of what they said. You will say, on March the 23rd, we discussed you canceling your trip to blank location, and I contacted the vendor, i.e. Carnival Cruises, and informed them that you wanted to cancel your trip. Based upon Carnival's response, you can cancel your trip under 50% penalty, or you can request a 100% refund, or you can accept future cruise credits, which will be the value of 150% of what you paid for your trip. And then list out those options and tell them they need to reply to you in writing which one of those options they would like to do. Do they wish to cancel? Do they wish to reschedule? Or do they wish to take future credits for an additional trip? Let's see. And now we're going to switch over to telephones. Let's see. We talk about our telephones, and it's important. Turn your business phone off after your business hours if you need to do that. And this is not a command, but again, we're talking about how to alleviate some stress in these times where there's a lot of anxiety, not just for clients, but for the travel agents as well. And it's important that we keep our boundaries and we make boundaries. So if you need to turn your phone off, if you've had a really, really stressful day talking to clients and trying to undo plans that are current, or deciding whether or not you need to make them as future plans or whatever, what have you, what you need to do is take your phone and turn it off. The only time I recommend that you don't do that is if you have clients who are currently traveling. We have it right now where we have people who are trying to get back in the country, or almost everybody's back in the country now. But I know San Francisco Airport and New York Airport is supposed to start taking flights back in from China, which is interesting because they still have the virus in China, but we're going to be taking flights back from China. And I know that there are a lot of international students who are here in the States who need to be returning home and could not because they were unable to fly back into China or into the European countries. And so now that that is open, you might have clients who are in these two situations. You would need to keep your phone open. Other than that, if people are calling and dealing with rescheduling or wanting to just book future trips, be gentle to yourself and maintain your business hours. That's really, really important. And a great way to establish your business, because you don't want people calling you 24 hours a day, unless, of course, they're traveling. And even when they're traveling, we do tell people, if it's not an emergency, you don't need to call me. So they may get to their hotel in Morocco and go, I absolutely love my hotel, and forget that it's 3 a.m. here in San Francisco. Have your phone off. You deserve that time. And this is how we stay well. And this is also how we protect our business hours. Oops. Number 2, change your voicemail with an outgoing message that tells your clients that your phone lines have been extremely busy and an email is the best way to reach you. I always request someone to send a request for cancellation, or a request to reschedule, or a request to use future cruise credits, or future credits that were applied from a flight, in writing. That way I'm not doing something and later on they say, oh no, I was just thinking about it, I didn't realize you were going to do it. That is a request that needs to be done in writing. And I think most of us have that type of a policy anyway. If someone is canceling or making a change, they need to submit that in writing. So even in your voicemail, do tell them the best way for you to accommodate them is for them to provide you with an email with their request. And that's really important as well. Your outgoing message, of course, can be friendly and say that, you are aware that, your lines have been extremely busy and you are aiming to provide service to every single one of your clients, and let them know the best way to contact you regarding any types of changes to their travel plans are via email, and say, but you will return their call within 48 hours. Or if it's your 2 off days, say, I'm unavailable for your call, but I will be returning calls on Monday. Always let them know when to expect a call back. I'm sorry, I keep doing the wrong thing here. Number 3, in that outgoing message, you also want to mention that there may be a delay in response to your email. Again, because your priority obviously needs to be people who are scheduled to travel in the next 14 days or who are traveling right now, because that's going to be your priority. And again, you might need to get in touch with a vendor, which also could take up to 48 hours to get an appropriate response to let them know what's happening with their rescheduled request or their cancellation request. Now, I don't have anything after this because I wanted to make sure that we can have a dialogue, and it's really important to me. I wanted to know, is anybody having any kind of issues with their clients, or feeling any type of pressure now that we're like week number 3 into needing to make modifications? But has anyone come across any circumstances or situations that were difficult in trying to reschedule their clients, and or trying to get information from a vendor about rescheduling? And please feel free to unmute your lines at this time. I know it's a lot easier now that we've been talking about insurance coverages and what's covered and what's not covered. Has anyone had any requests to do future like rescheduling? And if not, I can give you an example of what I'm currently working on. Everybody quiet tonight. I'm gonna start calling on people in a minute. Lisa, you aren't having any issues over there with rescheduling or doing anything?
No, I really haven't had anything lately.
Okay. Lucky you.
Hey Pam, it's
I
Natasha.
know.
Was someone else talking?
I am. It's Natasha.
Hey,
I
Tasha.
don't have anybody, but I am curious to know, how does the future credit work? Like, is it something that we'll see once it hit their account, or how does that work?
What's going to be happening is most people are having you fill out a form for your future credit. They will fill out the form, and then they will issue them a letter telling them that they have a future credit. So their reservation number that they currently have has a credit that's attached to it. What your job needs to be as your travel agent is, you need to say, okay, let's get this rescheduled. Tell them, I'm going to call you back in 3 days. Let's look at some dates. You tell me the time period that you'd like me to get this rescheduled, and I'm going to call and make the arrangements. I spent this afternoon, doing that for my Greek cruise, and we're all pretty distraught because we really wanted to go. And we just kind of felt like we needed to select a backup date in case we can't leave in July. And we were like, no, we're going in July, we're going in July. And my friend's husband just kind of made it really, really real today. And he was like, yeah, they buried 795 people died in Italy the other day. He said they'll still be mourning people who are dead, and who knows if they'll have all those people buried, and we don't want to go at a bunch of funerals. And I was like, and then we all just kind of went, yeah, we need to postpone our trip. That really made it real, um, because even if the borders are open for people to travel, those countries are in mourning or will be in mourning, just like we're mourning people here. And you're trying to be a tourist and sightsee, and people are there mourning, and it's a national crisis, and we decided we're going to reschedule. So today I called and got 3 different dates. One was in October, and we all talked about it again this afternoon, and we felt like October was a little too soon. We looked at April for spring break coming up for 2021, which we might do, but we like the idea of just going a year from now on the same week that we were already planning to go. And yeah, we're pretty disappointed because I am actually traveling with this group. It's my friend's 50th birthday. And so you only get one 50th birthday, but we did decide we're going to go on and postpone. So I did call Norwegian today, got some information, but I will say this: if you have anybody who has booked something, what I did discover today was my cabins are actually on sale cheaper than they were when we booked them a year and a half ago. $400 per person cheaper. And that's before even looking at their current future cruise credit. We can't take the future cruise credit right now. If we cancel, we'd have to do peace of mind. And they haven't got to the point that they've postponed the cruise. But it's up to, I believe, the end of August, and we're going at the end of July. And so as we get closer to that date, we can cancel or change within 48 hours of departure and get the 150% credits. And, I'm kind of like looking at that going, everybody could actually be upgraded to a suite with that amount of money that they've already paid, and or the credits that are being issued. So they do have some really good deals out there right now. So now's a great time to be reminding people that they can be booking cruises for 2021 and 2022. Anybody else have any questions or comments with that? If you have anything out there, you definitely want to start talking to people about rebooking. Also, if they rebook themselves, there's the possibility that you can lose your commission. So you do want to rebook for your clients.
Hi, this is Denise.
Hi, Denise.
How are you?
I am doing great.
That's good. So, I had a cruise in August
Mm-hmm.
to the Bahamas that I had to cancel.
Which cruise line?
Um, Carnival.
Carnival, okay.
And also another one for Carnival in April of 2021.
Oh, you
Um,
canceled for 2021 already?
I had to because no one wanted to give me anything past the deposit. They're scared about the virus.
Okay.
It's all family, so
Okay.
I just went on and canceled it. But the one for August, it was my honeymoon cruise. I had people going for their birthday, and they're really scared. So my wedding date changed, so I had to cancel it for myself.
Oh,
And then
wow.
the
I'm
others were
sorry.
basically just afraid about the COVID-19. So I did check the refund policy, and we are within our full refund guideline, the
Mm-hmm.
timeline for it. But
Had you completed final payment?
No, we had not completed final payment. It was
Okay.
all deposits along with first deposits. Well, not first deposits, but full deposits. So the cabins were actually birthed. And then one payment after after the full deposit. That's for the August 19th. I mean the
Okay.
August cruise. Now for the April cruise, it was just strictly the $25 deposit. It was just 4 people. So
Okay.
that
So
wasn't much.
those are fully refundable, correct?
Yes, those are fully refundable.
Okay.
And from my understanding, the August trip is also fully refundable.
It should be.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
It should be fully refundable, and they might just offer you an additional amount for a future cruise. So you do want to look at that.
I
I
sure
want to say it
will.
was
Okay.
Princess that was doing, they'd give you the value of your cruise plus an additional cruise. So they have some
Mm-hmm.
really, really good deals out there. You want to be checking the update letters that are coming from the vendors. And I haven't seen Carnival in a few days. I know they sent something out. I want to say it was Friday, and I forgot to add it to my list that I was making last week with all the different things that people are offering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my dilemma, but I think the refund process will be successful. I did send out an email to all of the guests for the August cruise and let them know that it's officially canceled. And Carnival is working very hard to accommodate the the um, the travelers whose cruises were automatically canceled
Okay.
for this month as well as next month.
Right.
And just to give me a little time, and as soon as I get correspondence or refunds from Carnival, I will definitely, relay the information to you. But I think every week, I think I'm just going to send out an email to, you know, keep the tension down.
Yeah. And kind of throw it out there that there are different cruises available at different times with different amounts of money, and be like, it's on sale now, and
Hmm.
just say, what are we going to do when this is over, because the world's going to keep turning. So
Right.
be thinking about, where do you want to go when all this is over.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. Well, have you thought about what's going to be your honeymoon destination?
Well, we were actually going to do Miami and then go on the cruise. So
Hmm.
we're still going to do Miami.
You're still going to do
Um,
Miami.
yeah, we're still going to do Miami. And
Well,
with
by
that,
August, I hope that the beaches and everything will be open and
I'm
available
I'm
for you.
hoping so. It's the last Saturday of August. So yeah, I was gonna do a Marriott hotel for 4 nights and come on back home.
Okay. Awesome.
Hmm.
Well, by August, I hope that the tourism is bustling, and, all kinds of new things to see, and people are getting back to business. That's my prayer for you, for your honeymoon and your wedding.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Did anybody else have any questions or comments? I am going to post this in the Sunrisers group, and like I said, I thought we'd be a little more interactive with talking. But again, as we're talking about rebuilding our business and just kind of weathering this storm, I hope you all are taking trainings, and posting and saying things like, where are you planning to go when all this is over? Because just like 9/11, as soon as those planes were open for people to get back on, the next day people were flying all around the world, and it will be the same way after this virus. And so we want to be ready to serve, and we want to remind people that people travel for funerals, people travel for weddings, people travel for work, people travel for reunions, and people travel for vacation. And we're here to help. And so just keep reminding people of that, because when the dust all clears and everything is settled, they're going to be calling their travel agent. And if no one has anything else, then I am going to go on and sign us off this evening. I appreciate your time. I'm thinking next week I might move this to, actually, I think we're going to keep 8 o'clock. They just started a corporate presentation on Monday nights at 7 p.m. and it finished at about 7:40 this evening. I was thinking about moving us to 7:30, but I need to sit on the corporate presentation. So we're going to keep it at 8 p.m., but I'm looking forward to seeing everybody next week. And if you get on the morning sunrise call, then I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful evening. And again, thanks for joining me. Take care and be well. And this webinar is officially over.